millions of children under 5 die every year due to toxic germ-infested unsafe drinking water. This means that almost 4 babies a minute die from a lack of water according to UN Water's estimations. In the 2014 World Water Report released on the eve of World Water Day, the UN said that 768 million people do not have adequate access to water. 2.5 billion do not have access to improved sanitation. Among the deprived are a significant number of people in Detroit. It would seem that the problems of the Third World are being visited upon Detroit and soon the rest of the country. Obama refuses to bail out the people of Detroit. In the Obama world of corporate handouts, Obama refuses to help the people of Detroit. In the Obama world of corporate handouts, Obama refuses to help the people of Detroit. Obama has taken American taxpayer funds to bail out the privately owned General Motors. Obama has helped himself to the same pot of money and has devastated this country by bailing out key Wall Street businesses, for example Goldman Sachs. However, when it comes to helping 700,000 residents of Detroit, they are not worthy of an Obama bailout, even when their health and their very lives are being put in danger by severe third world economic conditions that are currently present in Detroit. Detroit is trying to come to grips with its newly founded Chapter 9 bankruptcy plan that includes a significant loss of pension benefits for retired city employees. However, the most devastating part of the Detroit financial crisis may not be the loss of pension benefits, it is the access to clean drinking water. Today, Detroit is a city in which nearly 50% of the residents will soon have no access to clean drinking water. Yes, that is correct, nearly half of the residents in Detroit cannot obtain clean water, and this has become a serious life crisis. Detroit Water and Sewerage Department, DWSD, announced it would send shut-off notices to customers with balances more than $150 past due or who are more than 60 days behind in their water payments. The department has stated that nearly 50% of Detroit's 324,000 water bills are overdue. Already, 4,500 accounts have had their water shut off by DWSD. This is a looming health crisis of epic proportions. Obama, the Great American Trojan Horse. Obama, the Great American Trojan Horse. Obama's refusal to involve himself in helping the people of Detroit, in such a stark contradiction of his constitutionally mandated priorities, is yet another example of Obama's treason quotient. Both history and current events demonstrate that the more debt a country acquires, the more at risk that country has with regard to losing control over its infrastructure and in particular, its water supplies to private interests. Beware of the UN Trojan Horse. Remember, the UN is the purveyor of Agenda 21. Control of all water is an essential element of Agenda 21. Remember, the UN is the purveyor of Agenda 21. Control of all water is an essential element of Agenda 21. In Detroit, it has not taken long for the unholy reach of CPS to involve themselves into the business of child snatching when the water is shut off. CPS has immediately moved to take children from their parents for the crime of being poor. The UN Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty and Human Rights, Leilani Farha, has even expressed concern over the involvement of CPS. However, beware of the UN Trojan Horse, as the UN's solution to this crisis is a case of the cure being worse than the illness. After reading this section of the report on the Detroit water crisis, it will be apparent why Obama has refused to bail out the people of Detroit, even as the people face an extreme crisis. It should also be pointed out DWSD is not threatening similar water shut-offs against its corporate clients such as Detroit Public Safety, the Palmers Golf Club, the Joe Louis Arena, Red Wings Hockey and Ford Field. Clearly, Obama was waiting for the United Nations to interject themselves into Detroit, and recently, this is exactly what has happened. Not to worry, the United Nations has promised to intervene in the Detroit water crisis. The UN High Commission on Human Rights Special Rapporteur on Safe Water and Sanitation, Caterina de Albuquerque, is in possession of a mandate which dictates that she must directly intervene with the U.S. government, first in a confidential manner and then in a public manner. What do countries do when they are being strangled by debt? The answer is simple. The United Nations asserts its authority to intervene, in the name of human rights, and then they bring in their corporate partners for fun and profit. On the UN's website they fully admit to resorting to facilitating corporate involvement when there is a water crisis. As America's aging infrastructure falls further into disrepair, the various levels of government will be forced to borrow more money in order to keep its water supplies safe. This has been done before and the results were devastating to the country borrowing money. Examples of UN NGO involvement in previous water crises.